And my father dwelt in a tent.
What's up, guys?
Hi, I'm Lara.
I'm Victor.
And this is us poking fun at the Book of Mormon. I haven't thought of a title yet. I might just call it Bomb, because Book of Mormon. And it, okay, I know that's bad. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, if you guys have suggestions for a title, please do,
I mean, I'll probably think of one before I actually... Because I'll have to have one when I post the video.
Nah.
Okay, whatever that means, like...
I mean, that's if we have a filler thing for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, I can change it up a little. No, it's set in stone. You have to do it. Like, YouTube will get mad at you if you change titles.
Our 2.5 fans might.
Our 2.5 fans, yeah, because 2 of them aren't me on other accounts or anything.
Okay, so 3, because one's me as well. They're gonna be so angry, they might post hate mail and troll us. Just saying.
Okay, that'll be mostly you, but don't make that joke. Don't.
What?
Anyways, before he makes dumb jokes, we're in the first book of Nephi, chapter 2. Let us continue. If you saw our intro, Lehi was dwelling in a tent, okay? He was dwelling in that tent.
And it came to pass that I, Nephi, being exceedingly young, nevertheless being large in stature, and also having great desires to know of the mystery...
I want to know how young he was, since he, was like, I was buff, man.
I feel like that was just, maybe just an immature kid assertion, maybe he was, bigger than a few people his age, and then he was just like, I'm fucking massive.
I am massive.
Mysteries of God. Wherefore I did cry unto the Lord, and behold, he did visit me, and did soften my heart, that I did believe all the words which had been spoken by my father. Wherefore I did not rebel against him like unto my brothers. And I spake unto Sam...
I've always found it interesting that, in almost any religious text, God will only, show himself to people who already want to believe in him. They're like, I want to believe in you.
But yet essentially the people who would need it the most.
People who would actually need it don't get God, because God's like, oh, well, you just need to naturally believe in me for no reason.
Yeah.
Which, depending on your religion, that may be a thing. We're not making fun of that. I'm just saying that's interesting.
Well, I mean, if we just wanted to bluntly criticize it, it would be much more efficient if God was able to show himself and prove himself to people who were skeptical. But I guess at the same time, there's still room for us to refute said showing.
Technically he can. He just is probably if I did that, why would I have this huge plan where nobody specifically knew if I existed, except for when people tell them? So I guess it's all part of his magical plan.
At least in here.
In here. Specifically in here.
Yeah.
Making known unto him the things which the Lord had manifested unto me by his Holy Spirit. And it came to pass that he believed in my words. But behold, Laman and Lemuel would not hearken unto my words. And being grieved because of the hardness of their hearts, I cried unto the Lord for them. And it came to pass that...
So, just for some preface, because Samuel doesn't come up that much, Samuel's kind of the kid. He's just like, okay, whatever. So his dad and Nephi are the really, really spiritual, very leaders and prophets and whatnot. And Laman and Lemuel are, they're the bad kids. They're the eldest, but they don't believe their dad or Nephi. Samuel's the middle kid, and he's also just kind of like, I just don't, whatever. Because he's never really, an outstanding character. He winds up having his own tribe, which you'll hear about later. But he's more or less just the chill guy. He's just kind of there. Sometimes you forget he exists because they don't mention him that often. Unlike my brother.
Almost like most real middle children.
Almost all middle. If you're a middle child, you can relate to Samuel.
Basically.
Yay! But no, he's not mentioned a whole lot, but he kind of just goes with Nephi and his dad because he's just looking to not cause any trouble, essentially.
The Lord spake unto me, saying, Blessed art thou, Nephi, because of thy faith. For thou hast sought me diligently with lowliness of heart. And inasmuch as ye shall keep my commandments, ye shall prosper, and shall be led to a land of promise. Yea, even a land which I have prepared for you. Yea, a land which is choice above all other lands. And inasmuch as thy brethren shall rebel against thee, they shall be cut off from the presence of the Lord. And inasmuch as thou shalt keep my commandments, thou shalt be made a ruler and a teacher over thy brethren.
Just to preface this, and this is good to know because they don't actually ever clarify this in the Book of Mormon, the this land of choice, and I mean they might mention it. I can't remember quite. But this perfect land that they're talking about is America. America is apparently their promised land, and they try to make it sound like they were essentially the first ever people on America. And because Laman and Lemuel and Nephi and Sam all split into different tribes, of course they each aligned with each other. Like Laman and Lemuel were one big tribe, and then Sam and Nephi were like one big tribe. But basically, the way they try to explain it is that there was the Nephites and the Lamanites, and without going into huge detail because I don't remember all of it, but you'll hear it in here as well, is that the Nephites and the Lamanites had huge battles, huge wars, and the Nephites were kind of like more advanced and more civilized because, of course, they had God and they had the knowledge of, their ancestors. And Laman and Lemuel, almost as soon as they get to America, just become like freaking savages. I'm serious. They like go from 100 to 0 like that. And that's how they explain Indians. That basically Laman and Lemuel beat their civilization, because they were long dead by then, beat the Nephites, and essentially then there was Native Americans. Native Americans are apparently, just horrible, evil people, according to the Book of Mormon.
Nice little subtle justification of everything that happened.
Pretty much. They're pretty much saying that the Nephites, no. The Lamanites are Native Americans, and the Native Americans were essentially, it was justified to kill them off because they were part of a really horrible, uncivilized culture, which is, exactly how the Englishmen saw them anyway, so. Not true, but that's just a little bit of information for you, so you can keep that in mind as we continue on with the Promised Land.
For behold, in that day that they shall rebel against me, I will curse them, even with a sore curse, and they shall have no power over thy seed, except they shall rebel against me also. And if it so be that they rebel against me, they shall be a scourge unto thy seed, to stir them up in the ways of remembrance.
He says if as if he doesn't know that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's like, if this happens, this other stuff will happen. Like, okay, God,
Like, I feel like he was like, it's a prophecy, but in one way I'm going to cover my butt, and then in another sense I'm going to try to make you feel like there's a way that other things could happen, but we know how this is going to go down.
I'm gonna make you feel like maybe other things could happen, better things, because I'm sure you don't want your brothers to become horrible savages and their ancestors, or, well, not ancestors, but,
brethren?
The opposite of ancestors,
predecessors.
Predecessor. Their children. Yeah. Basically, their children and whatnot to just be rebellious, horrible individuals. So, all right, moving right along to 1 Nephi chapter 3. That was the end of chapter 2, by the way.
Chapter 3. Lehi's sons return to Jerusalem to obtain the plates of brass. Laban refuses to give them up. Nephi exhorts and encourages his brethren.
This is where the exciting
Laban
shit
steals their
happens.
property and attempts to slay them. Laman and Lemuel smite Nephi and are reproved by an angel.
I love how he uses the incorrect term for smite in this, because smite has always been to mean to strike down, to like kill the person, as far as I know. I could be incorrect, honestly. I'll probably look it up. But as far as I know, smite has meant to like kill a person. But
in this context,
in this context, they basically beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, smite usually implies killing. Yeah. I can't think of a case where it usually implied like horribly injuring. Like, more often than not, when you think of smite, you think of usually something that's going to wind up in.
I mean, they do say that later on they do say smite him with a rod, so I guess that does add more context to it. But still, it could just mean that they kill him with a rod.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll continue.
And it came to pass that I, Nephi, returned from speaking with the Lord to the tent of my father. And it came to pass that he spake unto me, saying, Behold, I have dreamed a dream, in the which the Lord hath commanded me, that thou...
I have dreamed a dream. He can't just be like, hey guys, I had a dream.
I dreamed a dream within a dream.
Dreamception! Which is actually the whole plot of Inception, but... So, Inception!
Well, I mean, dreams go within the dreams. He was just saying that he dreamed a dream.
He dreamed a dream, instead of just being like, dude, had a dream.
Thou and thy brethren shall return to Jerusalem. For behold, Laban hath the record of the Jews, and also a genealogy of my forefathers, and they are engraven upon plates of brass. Wherefore the Lord hath commanded me.
Didn't think it was important to get that when I left or anything. God had to tell me to go get them. Kind of like he had to tell me people were going to kill me, and that I should leave. Oh, by the way, dumb fuck, you forgot the whole genealogy of your family, which in this time period is really fucking important. Go get your sons, get that shit. You're old. Just, stupid.
They need a plot, so I guess
they need a plot.
This is a thing.
This is where the exciting shit happens.
And it's driven by forgetting
that thou and thy brothers should go into the house of Laban, and seek the records, and bring them down hither into the wilderness. And now, behold, thy brothers murmur, saying, It is a hard thing which I have required of them. But behold, I have not required it of them, but it is a commandment of the Lord.
It's brass.
Therefore go, my son, and thou shalt be favored of the Lord, because thou hast not murmured. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, said unto my father, I will go and do the things which the Lord hath commanded. For I know that the Lord giveth no commandments unto the children of men, save he shall prepare a way for them, that they may accomplish the thing which he commandeth them. And it came to pass that when my father...
It's kind of funny, because God almost does not do anything throughout this whole thing. They pretty much have to figure it all out themselves. Also, hysterical breakdowns, which you'll see later.
Father had heard these words, he was exceedingly glad, for he knew that I had been blessed of the Lord. And I, Nephi, and my brethren took our journey in the wilderness with our tents, to go up to the land of Jerusalem. And it came to pass that when we had gone up to the land of Jerusalem, I and my brethren did consult one with another. And we cast lots, who of us should go in unto the house of Laban. And it came to pass that the lot fell upon Laman. And Laman went in unto the house of Laban, and he talked with him as he sat in his house. And he desired of Laban the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, which contained the genealogy of my father. And behold...
I think Laban, I don't think they specifically say, but Laban is, he's probably some member of, of the government. They don't specifically say what he does. It's just that he's like a person of power, and he has the plates for whatever reason, which they don't explain either. He just apparently has them, and he's someone of power. So he's basically just a plot device, and they don't give much background on who or what he is. So, yeah.
It came to pass that Laban was angry, and thrust him out from his presence, and he would not that he should have the records. Wherefore he said unto him, Behold, thou art a robber, and I will slay thee. But Laban...
Okay, let's think about the context of this. He went and sat in his home, talked to him, probably ate with him, whatever, and then Laban was like, nah, you can't have these records which you asked nicely for. You're a fucking thief. Get out of my house. So he did nothing even remotely thief-like, and Laban's like, get your ass out my house.
He probably assumed he was some like spy or something. So
I mean, he also may have been doing it for show, to kind of be like, oh, this guy's a thief, don't let him anywhere near.
Yeah, essentially trying to get him socially ostracized or something like that.
Socially ostracized, make sure he can't come back, more just making a fake claim. But I thought it was kind of funny in general, overall.
Fled out of his presence, and told the things which Laban had done unto us. And we began to be exceedingly sorrowful, and my brethren were about to return unto my father in the wilderness. But behold, I said unto them that, as the Lord liveth, and as we live, we will not go down unto our father in the wilderness, until we have accomplished the thing which the Lord hath commanded us. Wherefore, let us be faithful in keeping the commandments of the Lord. Therefore let us go down to the land of our father's inheritance. For behold, he left gold and silver, and all manner of riches. And all this he hath done because of the commandments of the Lord.
I do want to point out that the way that they also, like he was saying at one instance, it's a very common trope that they make the people who are doubting God or doubting the prophet specifically to be really dumb, and then the people who who are like chosen of God or believe in God to be really freaking smart, because Nephi in several instances is going to be the smart one. Like, he was like, okay, we can offer him gold and goods, and then maybe he'll give us these books because we're giving him something of value. Whereas Laban and Lemuel were like, no, we're just going to go back. So they're going to make the two of them seem really dumb throughout the book for doubting their father.
Yeah, less resourceful versus more resourceful and all that other stuff.
So that's just something interesting to note. Overall, I just find that very interesting in general.
Lord. For he knew that Jerusalem must be destroyed because of the wickedness of the people. For behold, they have rejected the words of the prophets. Wherefore, if my father should dwell in the land after he hath been commanded to flee out of the land, behold, he would also perish. Wherefore it must needs be that he flee out of the land. And behold, it is wisdom in God that we should obtain these records, that we may preserve unto our children the language of our fathers, and also that we may preserve unto them the words which have been spoken by the mouth of all the holy prophets, which have been delivered unto them by the Spirit and power of God, since the world began, even down unto this present time. And it came to pass that after this manner of language did I persuade my brethren, that they might be faithful in keeping the commandments of God. And it came to pass that we went down to the land of our inheritance. And
it's kind of funny that he uses the words keeping the commandments of God when he was actually just trying to persuade them to go do a thing. Like, he made it sound like what he said just gets them to follow all the commandments.
We did gather together our gold and our silver and our precious things. And
I find it funny that someone hasn't already, plundered that house.
You would have thought so.
You would think, when they're gone for, a week or two, and they haven't, been
well, considering
we're traveling or
logistics
whatever.
of traveling.
Yeah, you think they would have been like, oh, they've left. Well, I'm gonna go be a little richer now. So I'm actually surprised that house did not get robbed.
Briggs Home Security.
These things together, we went up again unto the house of Laban. And it came to pass that we went in unto Laban, and desired him that he would give unto us the records which were engraven upon the plates of brass, for which we would give unto him our gold, and our silver, and all our precious things. And it came to pass that when Laban saw our property, and that it was exceedingly great, he did lust after it, insomuch that he thrust us out, and sent his servants to slay us, that he might obtain our property.
He thrust them out.
I always think it's funny, like, what is the value to Laban of these plates with the records of Lehi's family? Why is this so great to him that instead of just being like, here, you can have these, you're offering me all this crap, just, you can have these records. I'm wondering what the value is to him. Like, of course it doesn't explain it, but it's interesting to me that these plates, that he has not even shown any remote interest in them being something important to him, are just so important that he's willing to just be like, I'm just going to steal your shit.
Maybe they prettied him up really well, so.
They prettied him up. Mm. Well, I mean, they could be... You know what? They could be engraved on maybe like gold or a precious metal.
I mean,
they could be of some kind of.
They did say they were what, brass?
Brass or something of that matter.
And maybe they could.
Brass back then was probably worth more than it is. Definitely worth more than it is now.
Well, yeah. So it may have been a decent metal back in that time
period. So yeah, it's probably just for the value of the metal that they were transcribed on.
And it came to pass that we did flee before the servants of Laban, and we were obliged to leave behind our property, and it fell into the hands of Laban.
I love how he uses the word obliged.
Yeah. Obligation. They needed to leave.
Oh, fuck it. Bye.
And it came to pass that we fled into the wilderness, and the servants of Laban did not overtake us, and we hid ourselves in the cavity of a rock. And it came...
You mean a cave?
I mean...
A cave? I think they call them caves.
I mean, I that was probably just to kind of dress it up a little bit more, so, you know.
Cavity of a rock. It's, like, very, like, sophisticated. It's a cavity of a rock.
I mean, it's one of the good times where... It's one of the times where it sounds a bit better, so...
Maybe it was actually a cavity. Like, it wasn't big enough to be a cave. It was just small enough, like just big enough for them to fit in it, the four of them.
But just be like a rock, like a rock space,
like a space in the rock, but not like an actual cave. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. It came to pass that Laman was angry with me, and also with my father, and also was Lemuel, for he hearkened unto the words of Laman.
I would be mad too. Like, dude, you gave us this huge speech on how freaking awesome this was gonna be. And how smart your idea was. And we almost died! Like, I'd be like, what the hell, Nephi?
It kind of goes without saying.
What the hell? You almost got us killed, man!
Just like considering their character, it would just be weird for them to just be like, well, we almost died, so I guess better luck next time. At least we're walking away still breathing.
No.
Wherefore Laman and Lemuel did speak many hard words unto us, their younger brothers, and they did smite us even with a rod. And it came to pass as they...
Even with. Like, they had to say, like, hitting them with a rod was so extreme that they had to be, like, even with a rod. Also, where the fuck did they get the rod? Was it, like, a rod from one of the tents that they brought?
Who knows? One of the tents. Maybe one of the maybe one of the pursuers
with a rod.
Maybe one of the pursuers they hid from dropped one or something like that, and they just beat them with it.
So they stopped to pick up a rod while they were being chased.
Well, it was even with a rod, so at the time they were probably angry. There was an altercation. They were like, you know what? Get in the rod.
I'm getting the rod. It's like pick your switch.
Pretty much, like, shit just got real, so...
Go get this. Go pick your switch. Make Sam go, like, pick up a rod from the gates. This one seems lighter.
They smote us with a rod. Behold, an angel of the Lord came and stood before them, and he spake unto them, saying, Why do ye smite your younger brother with a rod? Know ye not that...
By the way, this is one of the many of angels coming and just being like, don't do that. And just leaving.
The Lord hath chosen him to be a ruler over you, and this because of your iniquities. Behold, ye shall go up to Jerusalem again, and the Lord will deliver Laban into your hands. And after the angel had spoken unto us, he departed. And after the angel had departed, Laman and Lemuel again began to murmur.
Okay, now, this was kind of a hilarious part, like the fact that when you think about the rationale of how everything goes down, and of course maybe the physical altercation is extreme, but then to top it off, you get this angel that comes down and just says, yeah, he's greater than you, why are you beating him?
Like they're supposed to know that.
Why are you beating him? He's better than you. Why?
You almost got killed, but by the way...
He had a bad plan, but, he's gonna rule over you one of these days.
Fuck you and your shit.
So by that rationale, if being the skeptics, why... Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't know you wanted me to pause it, by the way. Anyways. But no, but yeah, that is hilarious. Like, it's like...
I felt like that would have been the icing on the cake.
He is better than you. Like, and he says it so matter-of-factually, like they're supposed to already know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, by the way, you should know the future. Like, if they knew the future, don't you think they'd be like, yeah, Nephi, I'm on board with your God thing and crazy weird plan to go to a promised land and stuff. Yeah, I am there. I'm on board.
Go Team Nephi.
Go Team Nephi. Are you on Team Lemuel or Team Nephi?
We're not releasing shirts, so no, we're not.
I'm on Team Laban.
It would be kind of funny just considering like the Twilight series when just Team Jake and Team Edward, and then
but the author Team
Nephi. The author of Twilight was Mormon.
Oh, that's fucking true. The author of Twilight is Mormon, but it's funny because the Mormon church will not sell her books in their bookstores.
Well, I mean, yeah, because, a lot of stuff that's not...
Are you Team Mormon or Team Twilight? No.
No more shirts.
I'm done.
No,
we're
merch.
not gonna make shirts. God.
No merch.
And before a couple years down the road, people were like, "We want Nephi versus Laman shirts." Okay.
And I just envisioned a bunch of people going to like LDS wearing these shirts. Shirts. Doing like a flash mob or something.
Oh no, you know what? Like a bunch of Mormons like just find the website that sells the shirts and they don't know they haven't seen the show, so they don't know the context, so they buy the shirts because the shirts just say Team Nephi or
well, wouldn't they just like set themselves up for failure if they get Team
Lehi? Yeah, like I don't know, like mostly all of them would get Team Nephi shirts.
Exactly.
And it would be really funny because, like, they would think it's, like, literally, like, oh, look, I'm a Mormon.
It's coming from a company that's promoting Mormonism.
And then, like, all of our actual subscribers have, like, Team Lehi shirts. So we can tell them Mormons from them.
That's funny.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Possible that the Lord will deliver Laban into our hands. Behold, he is a mighty man, and he can command 50, yea, even he can slay 50. Then why not us?
Alright, so that was the end of chapter 3. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up right here, because it's just about the perfect time. So, yeah, the next chapter, really exciting and hilarious. One of my favorites. But we'll get into that when we get into that.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely drop us suggestions. I'll definitely put up some social medias and whatnot. And, subscribe to our Patreon and things. Help us make videos.
Yeah, and while we were doing this, I was thinking probably one little format change that we'll do at least with us giving our feedback is that we'll try to pause the segments after sentences are completed, so that way it's not quite as jarring for some people to get back on track. And
I just get thoughts, and I'm like,
yeah, and even though we'll have the chapters linked to you in the description, that way it'll at least be it'll be at least a little less jarring when you
read it yourself.
You read it yourself, and then when we unpause and we continue the dialogue of an existing sentence. So that'll be one thing that we'll try to do as well.
Because I'm just bad about being like, oh, a thing. That's why he's here. You look like really dark when I get close because I'm just so bright.
Yes, you soak up the lighting.
I'm so bright.
Actually, you're deflecting the lighting, so that's why I'm getting dark. Uh-huh.
Hi. Okay. Anyways, we will see you later.
Yeah, and just remember to like, comment, subscribe. If there's any feedback that you like to give, let us know. So
tell us what you want us to do. It's hopefully not Mormon related, because I'm going to do things in order. Or maybe Mormon related, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. If you find material that you think would be interesting for us to cover as well in the long run, give us a yell. Let us know. I don't know what that is.
It's just me making faces.
Anyways, take care, people.